Is the AR-15 the modern-day musket? One of the major topics in politics today is gun control and laws. The argument is all based on our founding fathers' decision to write the Second Amendment, but times have changed and America's current gun laws are too weak for modern-day society. First, we'll just start, what is a musket and what is an AR-15? The musket is a long-barreled gun used between the 16th and 18th century, and the AR-15 is a civilian version of the M16. The musket was used for protection against immediate attack from the British in the Revolutionary War. The right to bear arms is frequently thrown around when talking about the Second Amendment, but what does the Second Amendment really say? The Second Amendment reads, "A well-regulated militia being necessary for the security of a free state, the right to the people to bear arms shall not be infringed." Well, what was going on during the time that the Second Amendment was written? The United States had just gotten their independence from Britain, and one of the main influences of the Second Amendment was the Quartering Acts, which allowed British soldiers to enter the colonies' home, and the colonists could do nothing about it. The British soldiers would take food, housing, and often abuse their powers that came from the Quartering Acts. They would often rape and abuse members of the family. The musket was introduced for protection against the British. America wanted to be able to have the same kind of weaponry to protect themselves against the British. This is why the amendment states the right to bear arms from a well-regulated militia and only being necessary for the security of a free state shall not be infringed, not for everyday people in a protected United States. So after the law, let's see what the damage has caused from this loosely written law. Every day, 34 Americans are killed as a result of gun violence. 40% of gun sales are sold illegally or outside of licensed dealers. While every 5 law enforcement officers that is killed with an assault weapon. One of the many arguments that is used by gun enthusiasts to justify weak gun laws and highly militarized weapons is that guns don't kill people, people kill people. While yes, people do kill people, the blame cannot be placed solely on the object. America allows for easy access for people to kill people with these guns, and this, however, can be changed. The states with the highest gun ownership rate have a murder rate 114% higher than those who have stricter restrictions on assault, such as assault weapon bans and safe storage requirement. Another flawed argument by many gun enthusiasts is that more good guys with guns will stop the bad guys with guns. While this is a logical statement, it is not based by facts. Out of all the mass shootings in America, 0 have ever been stopped by a civilian with a semi-automatic assault weapon. Less than 1% of semi-automatic assault weapons are ever used for self-defense. Now that we address that there is a problem and that some of the arguments for neglecting the problem are invalid, let's look at the problem that we do have. One of the major problems with guns in America is the weak gun laws. Many gun lobbyists argue that more strict gun laws is infringing on the Second Amendment right. But as I've addressed, this is no way infringing on our Second Amendment rights. Weak gun laws, backed with loopholes, backed with the gun lobbyists, make it easier for guns to be obtained illegally. 40% of all legal gun sales from private sellers do not require background checks. And this is how 40% of the inmates in prisons whose crimes involved a gun, this is how they purchase it that way. 62% of online gun sellers are willing to sell to people who would otherwise not pass a background check. And there are currently no permits or licenses required by federal law for any type of long gun, including semi-automatic weapons. One of the main problems with weak gun laws is its easy requirements it takes to obtain a gun. One problem is the weak background checks. From November 30th, 1998 to December 31st, 2008, about 96 million background checks for gun purchases were processed through the federal background check system. Only 1% of this was denied. This means that it is extremely probable that a person will pass a background check and have access to military-style weapons. Many people have committed mass shootings and did not obtain their guns illegally. After thorough investigations, many were found to have undiagnosed mental illnesses and should have never been allowed to obtain these weapons. Our background checks even allow people with certain mental disabilities and even being blind to pass a background check. The background checks in our country are very weak, They're not thorough enough to determine if a person is reasonably responsible to obtain military-style weapons. Another weak point in America's gun laws is known as the gun show loophole. A gun show is an exhibition or gathering where guns, parts, ammunition, and accessories are displayed, bought, sold, traded, and discussed. One problem with gun shows is how they're not required to have a federal firearms license at gun shows. Many people get their guns from gun shows because it's quick and easy. Some people don't even require background checks and they don't register their weapons. So what weapons shouldn't be allowed under the Second Amendment and openly available for the public? Well, semi-automatic assault weapons, such as the AR15, are military-style weapons and should be banned. They have caused more hurt and harm in this country than good. The AR-15 and similar weapons have been used in numerous homicides and mass murders, such as Columbine, the Colorado Theater, and Sandy Hook. They are 99% of the time not used for self-defense, and is not a good, effective gun for hunting. Finally, they are extremely hard to stop when they end up in the wrong hands. Banning these weapons would not infringe upon the Second Amendment rights of the people, and it is true that banning weapons and tightening restrictions completely stop these people from killing each other. But let's look at the facts. Take what happened in Australia when they decided to get serious about gun violence. In 1996, when all semi-automatic assault weapons were banned, all mass shootings had stopped. This may not end gun violence in America, but is a great start to a solution. What have we learned? 30,000 people in the United States are killed as a result to gun violence, and 80,000 people are wounded a year. Assault weapons are playing a major part in this. This is something that can be controlled. Having stricter laws will not infringe on the Second Amendment rights, and it goes to protect the well-being of the general public. Having more strict gun laws and restrictions and closing loopholes, such as gun shows, will work to keep unnecessary weapons out of the hands of the wrong people. The laws that gave this country guns has spiraled out of control, and America needs to make changes for the betterment of the country.